Good morning, cohort 1 for fall 2024. I hope you're well. It could be good afternoon when you're watching this too, but I'm recording it in the morning, so there you are. Welcome to your regular Tuesday tune-in. Remember, in our Tuesday tune-ins each week, we focus on what we've done the last week. We take a look at what's coming in the next week, and then we take a look at a tool that we want to highlight that you can also use and maybe in your practice, in your teaching practice when it comes to the Ultra courses in Blackboard. So that being said, let's start by taking a look back, right? We've just come out of last week where we touched on navigation in your online courses, and then we look at accessibility and the elements of design. I want to start by saying Module 2 is actually one of my favorite modules because we do a specific type of feedback for you. So if you haven't already, make sure to look at your Module 2 workbook assignment. We've given you video feedback once you submit it. And we find that it's more connective, it's more personal for the student, and it really makes the course a little less antiseptic and more humanizing in that way. So you'll note that we gave you video feedback. We chose one assignment in the program, which is that Module 2 workbook assignment. We did that on purpose. We have a limited amount of time with you. We have 5 weeks. So we wanted to choose one assignment where we gave that video feedback and made it personal and connected to you. Now, where if we had a longer term, I might have chosen more than one assignment and done a video or an audio or both feedback for you, depending upon the amount of students and how long the program is. There are practices that you can actually help you out, right? You could print out a version of your gradebook where you've got all your students' names, and you can check off, you can put little lines in there and check off whether you've left them that feedback already to kind of keep track with it for yourself. But we encourage that personalizing of learning, right? We encourage that personalization. So again, that was Module 2, where with the course navigation, you went in there and you did your workbook activity right there for us, but you also did that course outline, right? So you got to participate in that activity. We saw some great submissions there around how you set up that outline for your students. And what I like about the outline assignment specifically is it helps me conceptualize, am I doing right in my course, right? Are my units in order? Am I connecting these activities to the right due date? And in many cases, and some of you submitted this, am I connecting those activities to the right objective, right? So it's almost like I'm doing a little self-check for myself as I think about the course. But anyway, we get into elements of design. Gosh, y'all, this module is always a heavy favorite for us because it really gets a little personal lens for us on how we feel about UDL and where we first intersected with it, right? So in this case, you'll note that we had you do a discussion where you actually had to talk about the time that you first learned about it. And what's interesting about this activity is we always get a whole bunch of different perspectives, right? We get folks who are just now learning about UDL and are like, eyes are opening and like, oh my gosh, this is important, and they dig into it. And then we have folks who've known about this since forever because they have a loved one that's intersected with it, or maybe they have personal experience with it, right? Or in their workplace. So again, it's a wonderful activity. Your submissions this year, this cohort, were great. I love how honest and open you were with these. And again, thank you so much for sharing. Then, always a fun one, we do a little discussion where you write about the UDL principles to a friend, right? Where you talk about those and how they might be important to you. And I love it. You'll note in this particular assignment that we also did some fun feedback on occasion. On occasion, you'll see a meme inserted as a reply to one of your posts in this discussion. I think it's always a great idea to change up how you deliver feedback to your students. Notice in Module 2, we did some video feedback where we left you there, but in this one, we didn't give you direct feedback. For some of you, we went right into the reply of the discussion and just posted a meme as a way to encourage you in your discussion practice. So that was last week, right? So for this next week, goodness gracious, we've got important things coming up, right? So Thursday, our due date is our student learning outcomes module. You will note all through this course, we have layered in the outcomes to try to connect you to the why. And why am I doing this? We have them listed directly in your syllabus. in the class schedule that we put in your syllabus, we layered the module objectives right at each unit level to kind of further connect you. Then at the beginning of each one of our modules, we layer in them. We also layer them at the assignment level. So we're trying to connect you to each of these objectives for every one of these activities so that you kind of know the why of what you're doing. In this case, I want to remind you to make your objectives. You have an assignment that we have you actually bring in some objectives for your own course. We want you to make sure you kind of look to make these objectives measurable, right? And by measurable, sometimes we use the words, I want my students to be able to understand the history of blah, blah, blah. Well, understanding is not easy to define. Or to make measurable, right? So how do you want them to understand? Do you want them to be able to define, explain, describe, compare and contrast, debate, analyze? Find ways that I can measure this objective, and then make them relatable. Make them that the student can understand what's connecting, why that's important, and how you're supposed to do it. In some cases, and there's one video in here which I still think is a really good video. Down here, and it's the how you write a learning objective. It goes a little further than we normally do, but I think it's important to talk about, the why. In some cases, they want you to be specific on how much accuracy do you want them to have on this. Now, for most courses, we don't recommend it unless you're teaching a course where a student has to have a specific level in a particular unit of competency on a thing, right? So let's say in nursing, they have to score an 85% on a specific concept in order to complete this particular section. That might be more important to place into objective there for your student. But for the most part, don't worry about that. The video, though, is still wonderful. I would tell you to read through this content. There's a great, here is a link for some verbs that I think are very helpful, action verbs for you, for your course. And what you can use: knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis. So you can actually see the kind of action words that you can use. So we offer you resources directly in this particular course. And you can see some more of them right there, right? So anywho, read through this unit. I think it's going to be good for you. And this one is going to be due Thursday. Now, on Sunday, which is that next due date of this week, we actually do multimedia, which is a fun unit, y'all. Actually doing some video, if you will. In this case, we actually have you do one journal article where you look at some ISTE standards and then think about ways in which you could implement it for your students. Now, I want to challenge you. I will bet you dollars to donuts that no matter the subject matter, whether it be math, accounting, computer science, art, any kind of subject matter you can think of, you can totally do a video, have students could make up video for that assignment. Now, sometimes you may not have the time to do it, and that's okay, but we want to challenge you to try to come up with an activity. Go out there on the internet and search for some. They're really easy to find. So for instance, maybe I'm teaching a computer science or a math course. I might have my students demonstrate working through a problem or through a particular bit of programming on how they did it. Or in a writing course, I might have my students live stream. They're not really going to live stream it, but record themselves as they work their way through a specific portion of the writing process and why they did what they did, right? As a way to help them cement and thinking about what they were thinking about, right? Let that metacognition moving in there, right? So anyway, I would challenge you definitely to get into that assignment and dig in. And then lastly, a welcome video. We want you to submit a Kaltura video into the assignment box, which is easy to do. We've got instructions for you in the actual thing. We've got instructions on how to attach a Kaltura video to the assignment. That's important to watch. We also have instructions for Kaltura video as well as some guides. Follow those to submit this assignment. All right. So lastly, that was where we've been and then where we're going. Now let's look at the tool for this week. Let's talk about that video feedback tool that we offered you on your Module 2 workbook assignment. How do you do it? How do you get there? Well, I am in a course with fake people right now called Healthy Eating. And I'm going to leave Joey Clark some a video reply to his post in this discussion. And it's pretty simple to do, right? So let's say I've pulled him up in his discussion, and I actually want him to go to the Local Harvest website and participate in his discussion and post about farmers markets in his own area, right? And here he goes. Here he goes. Do you visit a different market each week? Or he's replied to somebody, but in his original post, he actually talks about there are several farmers markets in our area. There's one in Jackson County. We use the market and local store, blah, blah, blah. So giving us some information there, right? So now I want to go into Joey, and I could have just said, hey, great job, right? Or I could make it more personal. So I'm going to go to my window, my little video, click there. I'm going to close it again and show you where I went. Right here, add video recording, audio, video recording. This could be audio or video. In my case, I'm going to choose video. So I'm going to click on video. You're actually going to see the green screen behind me that you can't see in this video where I am right here. Look at me right now. See, down on your bottom right-hand side of your screen. The one above me shows my green screen. The one here does not. Magic. Anyway, so I'm going to choose to go ahead and do this video. Now, it's going to give me a countdown of 3 seconds. I always like to smile before the countdown starts, so I'm not like in the middle of this for the start of any video. So, anyway, here we go. I'm going to do a countdown. Smiling. Hey, Joey. I really appreciate the effort you put into this activity. I love the fact that you're able to identify 3 of your own farmers markets in Jackson County and then more within that 20-mile radius. That's amazing. I like that you get your fresh stuff from them, and that's really good work. So I just wanted to reach out to you and really thank you for participating in this. I look forward to seeing what else you're going to contribute in the course. And then when I'm ready, I hit stop recording, and I can actually watch it. Hey, Joey, I really appreciate the effort you put into this activity. I love the fact that you're able to identify 3 of your own farmers markets in Jackson County, and then more within that 20-mile radius. That's amazing. I like that you get your fresh stuff from them, and that's really good work. So I just want to reach. When I'm ready, I just choose save and exit. Or if I didn't like that recording, I could hit delete recording and re-record. So I'm going to choose save and exit. And then I might say, great job. Still say great job. Be sure to watch the video feedback below. Right? And then I'm going to hit save. Now, when Joey comes in, Joey just needs to click on the comment and watch it, so it'll show up for him. But that is an easy way for you to provide that little lens of personalization when you're in that feedback mode. I hope you got a lot out of today's Tuesday Tune In. I know I did. I'm looking forward to seeing what you do as you continue to make your way through the program. I want to offer you a couple things to round out the day. 1, sorry about the confusion on that image upload assignment. We have since changed the instructions. As with all things, just like you, we're not perfect. So nobody is. But we did change the instructions for the image upload assignment. Some of you actually got access to them prior to us changing them, and they were the old instructions since we've changed that content designer for Ultra Documents. But those have been changed. Yay! Lastly, and importantly, at the tail end of this course, we want you to connect to your instructional designer and submit that you have as part of an assignment. We'd like you to actually go ahead and do that now. So all you need to do is go to idsupport@shsu.edu and send them an email. Say, hey, I'm in the certification cohort, and I would like to connect to an instructional designer and schedule some time. And that will actually start that assignment now, so that when you get there and you submit the assignment, the wonderful ID can already go in and check your grades off, so you don't have to worry about it. But that actually assignment comes in Unit 8, but you can start connecting to them now. Again, you can reach out to ID Support, that's IDSUPPORT, at shsu.edu. Anyway, thank you all so much for your time. I hope you have a great day and a great rest of your week.